I'm going to call the workshop meeting of the Lake Como Mayor and Council to order. We have one item on our workshop, and that is a presentation from our architect for the preliminary plans for the Borough Hall, Mr. Anthony Landino. If you want to just introduce yourself and kind of go over the plans and the ideas. The council has somewhat of an idea of what you're presenting.
Okay.
And then we can ask you what we need to ask you.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Hi, everybody. I introduced myself just before the meeting to most of you. I'm Anthony Iovino from Arcari and Iovino Architects. I'm sorry, pardon my back. So I believe everybody's seen the plans. I want to walk you through it. You know, we're at a point in the design where we've gone back and forth with Drew and Amy a number of times. We've met a few times, and I know some of you have seen it, I'm assuming. And so we've just tweaked it here and there to get it as efficient as possible. Right? So the property on 18th, it's contained, right? There isn't a giant field that we're putting this on, so we're trying to minimize the footprint of the building. So we're going to a two-story version. Each footprint, and on this drawing I have here at the top are the floor plans. It goes from a proposed basement to the ground floor to the upper floor. Each floor is roughly 3,500 square feet. And the basement is something that, when we start getting into the budgetary items, we decided if we're going to go with this, it would be great. The water table isn't an issue that we know of. It's not a flood issue. So if you have the basement, like anybody who has a basement, you're going to fill it. So it would be good to have because it takes some of the heat off of the stories above. So, and then I'll walk you through the elevations, but I want to walk you through the plan first. So this piece of the ground floor, the rest of the site, of course, goes out to the street. We have, I think, about 18 parking spaces planned at the moment. The site isn't finalized just yet. We have to work in generator and air conditioning units and things like that that will land on the ground and make sure we can fit everything. You enter into a vestibule that's under a covered entry point, and in the elevation you'll see it's significant. You won't miss what the entrance is. You come in and you get into a secure lobby with service windows for tax, utilities, and administration. Within that lobby, we have the stair going up and an elevator. Everything in the building will be ADA, barrier-free compliant. It has to be by code. We will have two egress stairs, one here at the lobby, and then there's a secondary one that serves primarily the council chambers upstairs. So we went back and forth on where the council chambers. Council chambers, the room we're in right now is an assembly use, right? It's an assembly space. Everything else in this building is business in building code language. And what we talked to Drew and Amy about is the trigger when you put assembly up on the second floor is fire sprinklers. So we will have fire sprinklers in the building. This basement, if you do it, is a windowless basement, also would need fire sprinklers. So the building will be sprinkled for protection. And that's fine, it's good, there's a little initial cost. Your insurance rates are lower because of it and things like that, but you're able to do what we're talking about. So getting back to the layout, we have the vestibule into the lobby and then administration. And what's good about what we have here is that all of these offices can communicate without going into the public zone. That's really important in our public buildings that we design. For you to go from one office to the other and walk through the public space a lot of times, especially in a busier municipal building, it can be problematic in terms of efficiency and security. So here we have administrative assistant, administrator, clerk, CFO, tax collector, assessor, and then support space in terms of copy and mail, an assistant really serving the main window, and then the break room is here, right? So a small kitchenette for the staff. In the right corner here, we have what's labeled the mayor's office. Some towns have mayor's offices, some don't. It stays as a floating office for council meetings and other, planning and zoning, or if you have an auditor coming, you have a space where they can go. We have public restrooms at this floor. We have a single unisex or male bathroom, and then we have a two-stall women's room here. You go upstairs, and now you have a lobby that's outside of council chambers. general purpose conference room, and the building department is up here as well. And then we have a larger conference room on this right corner as well. These conference rooms, I know we have two up here right now because we went back and forth in terms of what offices there are. But the reality is, this is the bigger floor plate in terms of the first floor in terms of what the uses are, and I'm extruding it up. So the space is there. So it's free space. So for right now, it's a meeting room. It could become an office in the future. It could be anything you need it to be. It's there. You have some flexibility. We have, again, public restrooms up here. And now, I'm calling them public restrooms because in the building code, I need a certain number of fixtures based on the number of people in the building. You can elect to say that the individual unisex bathrooms can become staff bathrooms, and you can lock them off. But when you have a council chamber, council meeting, planning, zoning board, where you might have a lot of people, you might just open them up. So you have that flexibility, and it's a good staff move as well. Council chambers is as big as what you have here. We have the egress stair going down, and that will go directly out of the building. Building department is one larger space than what it is now. And then the elevator, again, is on this end to take you up and down. Now, we went back and forth on basement. This would be, the cheapest space to have, right? Because we can even leave it kind of wall space, if you will. I know this building has a basement for storage as well. We'll have the elevator going down to the basement so you can bring materials up and down, machine room. All the utilities would come in here. We're creating, vault for vital records and such for the town, but we're leaving this as a blank slate, right? It's a big open area. And we could even, when we run numbers, decide whether or not we can, maybe only build half, but, you're digging the foundations, you're almost all the way there. It's almost free space when you look at it that way. So we took the plan, after we were done going back and forth on the plan, we started looking at what the building could look like, and from an architectural point of view, that's the way I operate. I'm not coming into this with a preconceived notion of what the building has to look like. I'm not working from the outside in. Functionally, I want to solve what the issues are. I want to make sure it flows right. So the one charge we had when we went through the interview process was we want this to fit in. We don't want it to look like a commercial office building. It wants to feel residential but not be a house. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? So what I'm anticipating here in terms of the materials are, non-organic materials like hardy plank. It's a cement board rather than wood. It'll all look like wood, right? So we have lap board siding. We have a base of brick wrapping around, traditional asphalt shingles at the top, and to mark the entry. We were thinking that we might put like a standing seam metal roof over that one canopy that marks the entrance. So the whole lobby that I was pointing out before, you can see it in this view, will have a lot of glass and will have a bit of a residential feel to it, but clearly not be a house. We'll have areas, I didn't show greenery so much in front of the building, but in the plan we have space in front of the left and right sides to have plantings and shading as well. And when we work out what happens on the site for parking, we can work in shade trees for the parking area as well. So the color could be anything you want it to be. I think we started out with green. We were asked to go toward a blue. This is still so early in the process, right? It will change. And as we dive into the details of the trim work and what windows we use and things like that, the proportion of everything will tweak a bit. We went with the slope roof to fit in with the community. The elevator's unique in that from the top, if we're on the top floor right now, the top of the elevator shaft is clear 12 feet above plus the structure. So I kept trying to put the elevator in the middle of the building so it can be in the, at the peak. So it's hidden inside the roof line so you don't see this elevator pop out of the room. Again, wanting it to not feel commercial. Right? So I think we're at a really good start point. To me, it's still a start point. We're early in this process, but we're at a point where if this is the right direction, right, and we're not tweaking the plans too much, Drew, then we can advance, right? So I'm really at a holding point. And, I want everybody to see it, digest it, tell us it's okay to go forward, and then we can let loose with our engineers and the rest of our architectural team to create the construction and the bid document. Happy to answer your question.
Before we open up to the council, Drew, do you have anything you want to add as far as the process or?
It's been great working with Anthony. It's, as you can tell, I tweaked it many times to try to, work on the flow. I think we're there internally. The next phase would be actually to start doing the drawings, and that's where we are at in this phase of the process. Thank you for going through the oversight of it. I mean, I think it's a good building. I think it's a good layout. We've gone back and forth about the basement on the storage, but Anthony said it's really the cheapest part of the process, and it is free storage.
And I know we talked about this a little beforehand, that there's no really value cost associated with this project yet.
Right, I haven't run numbers on it just yet. That's one of my next steps, is to do a very sort of high level, like square foot number estimate on it. I would like to get my mechanical, electrical engineering sort of started to get their input in terms of what they think the systems might be. But I can, in the next few weeks, I can easily put together an opinion on what that might be.
Anything from the council?
I have 2 questions. How many spaces do we currently have? I know this is it's a condensed property.
Parking space.
Yeah. Do we know?
14.
Okay, good.
I believe on this project, we're looking possibly at
18.
18.
Yes, at 18.
Yeah, when I was looking at the preliminary site plan, we actually have about 19 drawn, but one I lose because of the handicap parking, and depending on where we end up with generator, like right now, I don't recall seeing a dumpster or anything. You're not gonna generate the kind of waste that you need a dumpster for a building like this, so I don't think you need to lose the space because of that. We were also pulling the building back from the rear yard 10 feet so that I can put some mechanical units in the back. And we're just 5 feet on the nose at the moment, side to side. So we're really trying to get the most out of the property so we can maximize parking.
Great.
Is there another door, other than the main door, to get out of the building?
Yes. So,
Or is that
Down the stairs.
On the
you
east
said.
side.
yeah, so we have the main entrance here. There's an exit here that comes from the stair coming down.
okay.
So upstairs has this stair going down, of course, the elevator. Ground floor in the lobby has just, the way you came in is the way you come out. Within the staff area, what I'm not showing here, but I'm gonna cut in because I can, sort of an egress out from one of these points, maybe here where I can get people to the corridor. So it's things like that, that layer of nuance needs to get added to this still.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So the way in the second photo or the second drawing, that's what it would look like with the parking lot in front and then the building behind?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry to ask you to do this, but could you just quickly run through first floor, what each room looked like, the
Yeah.
L of the side and
this
back
part
rooms?
here?
Yep.
Okay, so we have, on the right, upper right is a break room.
Mhm.
This is the assistant for, the offices, and we have copy and mail, right, where everybody would come in and grab that for upstairs as well. Tax collector and assessor, CFO, clerk, and administrator, and then the admin assistant here.
Got
The
it.
service points are right here at the lobby.
Got it.
So, and we wanted the service points to be in line of sight to each other, when somebody's out for lunch or something like that, you can see if the resident is waiting and you can take care of it.
That's great. And then, can you guys remind me, I can't remember, is there parking on 18th Ave
No.
there?
On
Okay.
18th Ave itself?
Yeah,
No, it's not wide enough to have parking on the side.
I'm just wondering where like spillover parking will go.
Main Street or on
Okay. Right, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
Are the offices gonna be offices or cubicles?
We have them as primarily the offices, so admin, clerk, CFO, and tax have enclosed offices. Building department has an enclosed office upstairs.
And everything else is cubicle.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, there's open space here, admin assistant and assistant here, but somewhat isolated. I didn't fill it completely with the furniture, but the idea is that, we can have a meeting table out in this open space. I'm not showing all the file cabinets and things like that. You want to be able to live in it and grow into it as you need. And I'd rather you have space that you can change by furniture layout rather than having to move walls. But those offices are important for privacy.
I had a second question. Are we considering lighting outside? Parking areas, or lighting being involved in the plan?
Yeah, but like 10 steps down the road from where we are
Okay.
right now.
All right.
I had another question as well, so
Yeah.
I thought I remembered. It looks like there's a little bit of like an attic, or kind of like can that be storage? Not really.
Not really. You can stuff things up there, but you should.
Okay.
There will be mechanical equipment up there, and we'll have access up into it. But that's, the basement is best for that because we have an elevator going down to it rather than, pull down a ladder or something and get into an attic.
Gotcha, okay.
The only question I had, the east stairwell, does that on the first floor exit to the staff area, or does that just go out?
It just goes out from upstairs, it goes straight out, from downstairs, comes straight up and out. So while I can probably work in a door here, just the flow would be behind somebody's office. But we have all of the surface area that I could get out. So to the question earlier, I think a door here where we can freely get to, everybody can, makes a lot of sense. And, I know, I'm sure, an hour from now, you're gonna think of other questions. Just funnel it through. I mean, that's how we learn too about what you need to talking about the door, the exit door. I didn't think about that, but when I look at it differently after the question, it makes sense, right? So that back and forth is really important at this stage, where it's only this in terms of drawing, right? You don't go too far down, and you feel like you're seeing it for the first time. So that's why I think this back and forth is really important.
If somebody comes in the front door and they wanna go upstairs, they gotta take the elevator.
No, there's
another stairs
there's
up
a
there?
stair right here. As soon as they come in, they can go right up. And the fire code allows us to have an open stair, one open stair. So the travel distance is really short coming down. So so if something's happening upstairs, because right now, and this is some of the things we went back and forth on, during the day, there may only be one person up here for the building department. But you're within earshot of everybody down here because the stairs open. So I think it's important to have that. You also know who's going up and down because you'll have, line of sight to what happens in the lobby. And of course, you'll have cameras and things like that in the building for security.
So it's an open stairwell?
Yes, the front one can be open.
Okay, that's great.
Good.
Anything else? Final? Anything? Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
At this time, I will open it up to the public. If anybody from the public has comments that they would like to make, can come to the microphone and do so now.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we got one. Just need your name and address.
Hi, Diane Kolazinski, 1828 Pine Terrace. And the one thing that I'd like to bring up is the height of this.
Okay.
When you're in the audience, it's really hard to see you guys.
That's kind of the idea. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Right, so, like, for example, this woman right here, like, you can barely see her.
I'm sure.
And it's very,
You're gonna boost you.
it's very
I'll boost your seat.
intimidating and kind of ominous
Okay.
for people that are sitting in the audience. So I'm just wondering if maybe you guys could consider a more community kind of feel to this, like maybe a circle that's a little lower that would, you know, make it seem like you guys aren't up here and the residents aren't like down here. So,
Awesome, thank you.
thank you.
I actually have a question.
Yep.
Hi, it's Dave Serza. I'm over at 1715 Main Street, right across the street at the villas. Going to tear this down eventually, or is this going to remain a building?
So the idea is that we would build over on the first aid, and then this area would be sold off for development.
All right. So that was my second question. So the proceeds of the sell-off will probably go towards the funding of the new building, and is there going to be any impact on taxes?
So as of right now, and we don't have final numbers, but my answer to you would be no, the plan we want to put together is going to have no
Perfect.
impact on taxes.
Yeah.
There is still, you know, a step-by-step procedure we have to make. Do we want to kind of sell this and use that money to build, or build first and then sell it and pay off?
Right.
So that step-by-step procedure is
Cool.
not defined.
All right, great, thank you. Great drawing, so.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right,
Good.
with that, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming
Thanks,
up.
everybody. Yeah, not a problem.
Have a great night.
Put it right back in the seat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, at this time, it is 7:54. I'll call the regular meeting of the Lake Como Borough Council, Mayor and Council to order. Please rise for a salute to the flag and a moment of silent reflection. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Roll call, please. I'm sorry, Sunshine Law.
Notice that this meeting has been provided by the adoption of a resolution by the mayor and council on the second day of January 2024, in which resolution entitled Consent Agenda and Regular Meetings commencing with January 2nd were set forth. Notice the same was delivered to the Asbury Park Press, the CoStar, and Tap Into, and a copy of the notice was posted on the borough website and on the bulletin board in the borough hall. All meetings are open to the public.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Biddy?
Here.
Skull?
Here.
Antoine?
Here.
Demora is not here tonight. Ventrice?
Here.
Novella Doyle?
Here.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 15th meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. We have no communications. We will go into reports of committee, starting with Councilwoman Albaladoyle.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder from the Recreation Department that youth club signups are happening now, as are basketball signups, and if anyone is interested, they can go to belmar.com under the Recreation tab. Other than that, I just wanted to congratulate Councilman D'Antuono on his win yesterday, and other than that, all matters are in order.
And congratulate yourself.
Congratulate myself.
Okay, screen just went, so I'm going to say Councilman Ventrice.
Thank you, Mayor. I will congratulate Councilwoman Doyle and Councilman D'Antuono on your wins last night. Otherwise, all matters are in order.
Thank you, and thank you. Councilman D'Antuono.
Thank you, Mayor, and first of all, congratulations to you as well, Councilwoman Albaladoyle. I only have one other thing to report out on tonight, and it's in connection with the property tax assessment discussion that we've been having. So some of you may recall, but I can give a little bit of background, and if you all remember, but at the meeting that Matt Clark and our tax assessor were at the presentation, one of the questions I posed to Mr. Clark was if he had seen other instances in Monmouth County where isolated areas of a town had seen such dramatic increases. residents on North Boulevard saw this past year. So a few days ago, Mr. Clark did get back to me, provided me a whole bunch of data on assessments in Monmouth County over the last couple of years. So I was able to slice and dice that a little bit, and so I wanted to share some of my findings with the council. So one thing I looked at was between the assessment years of 2023 and 2024, how many properties in the county saw between a 30 and 80% assessment increase, and that also correlated to at least a 30% increase in their actual tax bill. So I capped it at 80% because I didn't want to grab like new construction or stuff like that that was not really comparable here. And I found there was 1,704 properties in Monmouth County that met that criteria last year. 32 of those were in Lake Como, 26 of which were on North Boulevard. So of properties in the county that saw that last year, Lake Como was less than 2% of those properties. A couple other things I found interesting. Of those 1,700 or so properties, there were 38 individual streets in the county that had at least 10 properties that met that criteria, because there's going to be a lot of one-offs. Some house gets a lot of construction. So I tried to throw that out also, but there were actually 38 streets that had something similar with a cluster, call it 10 or more properties. So the only other thing that you can see somewhere in maybe towns to the west that maybe weren't as comparable to Lake Como, but there were a handful in Allenhurst, a bunch in Asbury. There was a street in Keensburg, sort of along the bay there. There was a handful of streets in Ocean Grove near Fletcher Lake that saw something similar happen. In South Riverside Drive in Neptune, which is kind of back near Shark River, which was another one. So that was kind of the resolution of the question I'd asked, where else have we seen this? And that's kind of, from looking at the data over the last couple of years, that's what I was able to find.
We did have a resident, I think, in North Boulevard, from North Boulevard, ask us this question again last meeting.
Yes,
right?
he's followed up, seeing if I'd received a response.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it would be appropriate if you wanted to share that information.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
No,
Thank you. Councilwoman Scull.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations, Councilwoman Alvala-Doyle and Councilman Antuano. And also just a reminder that Small Business Saturday and our holiday tree lighting is November 30th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Ooh, is that right? Thank you. And that is it's our second event like this. It's great. It's really festive. Not only is it a tree lighting, but there's live music. There's wonderful craft vendors. Think about like your holiday shopping. Things for kids. Of course, we have a special visitor. Santa comes. So free pictures with Santa. There'll be some light refreshments, hot chocolate for purchase, and more. So please, everyone, come to our Small Business Saturday and annual tree lighting. Oh, and if you know any craft vendors that might want to participate, we still have a few open places for them. So other than that, matters are in order.
Thank you. Council President Whitty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Like everybody else, congratulations, Heather and Chris, on your tough election last night. And I look forward to working with you for the next 3 years. So congratulations again. Other than that, matters in order.
Thank you. Heather and Chris, I'll say congratulations, but also say thank you. It was a tough race, we understand that. But no, all jokes aside, you know, you step up, you really do. You do this every election, you run, you show up every meeting, and I was having a conversation over the weekend with a friend of mine who often has to have a conversation with his staff about just doing their job. And I just want to say thank you for doing your job and your piece for this town. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow begins, Drew, right? Tomorrow begins the new traffic patterns and parking will be in effect starting tomorrow, or we'll start putting them into effect?
We'll start putting them into effect tomorrow. Newman Street has already been painted and is ready to go. New stop sign has been installed. I did get a delivery of the no parking signs for 18th Avenue. 18th Avenue will be starting to be painted tomorrow morning, and if all goes well, the no parking signs will be installed tomorrow afternoon.
Are we going to, in the first week or so, give out winning tickets, or are we going to take them right from day one?
I believe that's the proper way to handle it now. signs today, so if you want to put it on.
I will, yeah, put that on tonight, thank you.
Okay, just like the proper way would be the warning.
Yes.
Also, Coffee with the Mayor will be not next Saturday, the Saturday after that, which is the 16th, I believe. November 16th will be the third Saturday of the month. Coffee with the Mayor will be here, 9 to 10:30. All are welcome. And yes, I do bring coffee. Somebody showed up last week and like, I can't believe there's coffee here. He's like, it's called Coffee with the Mayor. So please join us. Other than that, all matters are in order. At this time, I will take a motion to open for public comments on new business and consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So at this time, anyone from the public wishing to comment on anything listed under the consent agenda or new business? Just a note to that, there are 2 items listed under the ABC board. The first one, Resolution 2024-145, is actually being pulled from the agenda tonight and will be on next month's agenda at the request of the buyer's attorney. But other than that, anyone have any questions on anything else listed on the agenda? Or comments can come to the mic now. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Under new business, Resolution 2024-139, offered by Councilwoman Albala Doyle.
Thank you, Mayor. So offering Resolution 2024-139, be it resolved by the Mayor and the Council of the Borough of Lake Como that the proper officers be directed and authorized to make payment from the following accounts. Current account, $405,827.28. Water and sewer account, $3,071.75. The general capital fund, $27,343. The grant fund account, $4,180. The tourism account, $5,117.71. The 100th anniversary account, $2,147. And ACH wire payments of $39,753.69 for a grand total of $487,440.43.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scull?
Yes.
Natrona?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Valladolid?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-140, offered by Councilwoman Scull.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered Resolution 2024-140, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Lake Como that the proper officers be directed and authorized to make payment from the following account. Current account, New Jersey Natural Gas Company, $94.90.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scull?
Yes.
Natrona?
Abstain?
Ventries?
Yes.
Valladolid?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-141, offered by Council President Whitty.
141. Yeah, so off Resolution 2024-141, a resolution of the Borough of Lake Como setting forth the salary of certain Borough of Lake Como employees in accordance with the salary range established in ordinance 2022-979. This is a salary increase that we give to the employees.
This
It
is
is mainly for the Director of Code Enforcement.
right, and this is specifically coupled with the resolution, the shared services resolution, correctly with Neptune City, correct? Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scull?
Yes.
Natrona?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Valladolid?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-142, offered by Councilman D'Antuono.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered resolution 2024-142. This is a resolution confirming the submission of the best practices checklist inventory to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services on behalf of the Borough of Lake Como. The checklist is required to be submitted by October 25th, and it was submitted by our Chief Financial Officer on October 21st. The Borough has achieved a positive credit, scoring 40 points, and based on its responses, it is entitled to 100% of the eligible state aid.
So, Mayor, I just want to add that I reviewed that after it was sent with these minutes, and we actually could get a score of 41. But since you're getting 100% anyway, it doesn't make any difference.
I don't know, I think I want the 41.
So let's amend it.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scout?
Yes.
Antoino?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Valadora?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-143, offered by Councilman Ventries.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered resolution 2024-143, resolution of the Borough of Lake Como Council Executive Sessions. Whereas the Borough Council of the Borough of Lake Como must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in a public meeting. And whereas the subjects are within the exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act and permitted to be discussed in closed session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B7. The Borough Council intends to discuss matters that are covered by the attorney-client privilege. It's estimated that the session will not take more than 30 minutes, after which council may resume and take action.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scout?
Yes.
Antoino?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Valadora?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-144, offered by Council President Whitty.
So offered resolution 2024-144, a resolution requesting approval of item of revenue or appropriation to NJSA 48:4-87. This is amending the 2024 budget. We receive a grant in total of $68,000 that we have to amend the budget for 2004 to include that $68,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty?
Yes.
Scout?
Yes.
Antoino?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Valadora?
Yes.
Thank you. Before we go into sit as the Alcohol Beverage Control Board, and before we go into executive session, I will ask for a motion to open for public comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, anyone from the public wishing to make any public comments whatsoever, we are not limited to the agenda. Please come to the mic and let us know your name and address, and you can make your comments.
I think this is still on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. It's Dave Serza again, 1715 Main Street. I got two quick questions.
Sure.
One is just an update on what the plans are for the beautification, I'm calling it beautification, of Main Street. I heard, from the street to the sidewalk. I brought this up last time about a year ago. I want to re-landscape, I'm the HOA president for our condo association, and I want to re-landscape our 3 buildings on Main Street, from the actual building to the sidewalk. But I don't want to do that yet, because from the sidewalk to the street, it's kind of in disarray. And I don't know if the town is going to do anything about that. I was told that I really don't own that, so I really can't make any improvements to that. I wanted to put stones. I was told that was a hazard, even though there are stones there. That was done illegally several years ago, and I think it just left there. So is there any update on like making it a little nicer? Because right now it's sand, because the mulch is just disintegrated, or it's chunked up concrete.
2 things to that. Stones are not illegal. We've been having this conversation actually the past couple of meetings. Stones in the verge, the area between the sidewalk and the street is called the verge. The planning board and the town council has discussed the idea of banning stones in that area for many years. It just recently came up at a planning board session a couple of months ago. Doug and I were asked to bring that discussion to the council. The council sent it back to the planning board with more, with comments and asked them for a little bit more information. Did you talk about it at the last meeting? Which we will talk about at the next meeting with the planning board. So stones are not illegal at this point. But you are right, the verge is an easement between the town and the property. What I can do is I can ask Mr. Heisman to meet with you privately and talk about what can be done there. There are definitely conversations we have with the Environmental Commission about different types of trees that we can add to Main Street for a landscape. And we can put you in contact with them as well.
Okay.
But I think a group discussion to what can go in there and beautify that area.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that individually with just your property.
Okay, perfect. And the second question is, right where our driveway is, the DPW just painted the strip right outside the chiropractor, Dr. Galata. They painted that little strip, it's probably, I don't know the dimensions, it's probably maybe 10 feet, yellow. There are so many cars that are parking in that yellow spot, and what I'm concerned about, and I've gotten complaints from our owners, is they're jutting into the entrance of the driveway of our development, so that when a car comes out, there is going to be an accident. So I don't know if the police regularly enforce Main Street, or is it just that I can just tell an owner, well, if you think that car is a danger because it's jutting into the driveway, call the police and they'll have somebody and they ticket them.
So I'll also ask Mr. Heisman to talk to you about that, specifically with the DPW stuff. But that is always an option if you think someone is blocking a driveway, that they should definitely call the police department and say they're blocking the driveway. Now, normally in a residential neighborhood, it's a little different in a business neighborhood. But normally, I would say in a residential neighborhood, a police officer is not going to automatically ticket a car parked across your driveway. The owner would have to call and say, that's not my car, it's not supposed to be there. So I'm guessing they're not specifically looking at that in driveway areas?
Well, these cars are parked on Main Street. So here's the entranceway to get into our development, and there's the yellow line right here. The cars are parked like halfway, so there's really only, whereas you can go out and in, you really can only go through that one section when that car is jutting out. And it's...
So we'll relay that to police department for them. I'll ask Sergeant to relay that to his officers to keep an eye on that. But there is definitely an option to call the police and alert them. Someone is blocking the driveway and they can come out and ticket it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
as far as the yellow is concerned, is there a concern about the yellow being there?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, we wanted the yellow to be
Okay.
there, because without the yellow...
So people are parking illegally in a
free
yellow
reign to park
area.
there. It was free reign to park there, and I get it. I mean, if they're going to the chiropractor, it's typically a 20-minute visit or a 30-minute visit, but sometimes they're a lot longer than that. And listen, we're not especially me, I'm not about to get on my phone and call the police every time I see a car just park in there and go, oh, I think I'm gonna call. Now, but it's happening a lot, and then now I'm getting the people, because there are some elderly owners that are in there, and they're afraid that they can't really see, because the car is, if you're going out of the driveway, you really can't see anything south. You have to get into the north lane. But then if a car is coming south on Main Street that wants to come into our development, well, then that's something, that's gonna be a conflict. So.
Yep,
yeah,
and I'll
okay.
ask the sergeant to bring that back to patrols. And if there's, and again, Drew will set something up with you about the plantings and stuff. All right?
Thank you so much for your time.
Yep, awesome, thank you. Anyone else? Hello.
Hi, again, short people. Beth McManus, 530 North Boulevard. I have a question, it's probably more for Drew, but the lighting on North Boulevard, those lights have not been working forever. Really dark, mainly from Main Street to probably Fernwood. I think there's one light, it kind of goes on and off, street lights.
Street lights, high ones, not the ones on the lake.
On the lake,
Oh,
streetlights
okay.
on the lake.
Okay.
They've not been on for years.
Okay.
I know, we talked briefly about it a while back. Is there any progress on that? It's very dark now that it's dark, 4:30.
So Jersey
Very
Central has been notified by myself and the police department,
Okay.
and I sent another email ironically about a week ago.
Oh, okay.
They're not our lights, we can't fix them, they have to fix them, but we are trying to encourage them to do that.
Okay, because it's really dark. And I know with the lake, with the walk, which is great, it's bringing so many more people. It's so dark. It's almost gonna be dangerous.
Drew, I
People
can
are gonna
follow
start
up with an
falling.
email this week.
That'd be great.
Cool. Thank you. That's it.
Drew, can you remind me to follow up with an email?
That's that email.
Yeah.
A couple
Yes, sir.
blocks of streets.
Well, no, honestly, right in front of Councilman DeMoro's house.
Yeah, it's pitch black.
It's pitch black, so we should definitely have a list of those streetlights, and we can send an email today just to reiterate.
And we're
Or
gonna
tomorrow.
report it to the DPU.
They don't do it.
Michael, is there any way we can do another streetlight survey? Let me know. Also, Mayor, if a resident decides you can go online, you can report it, they're supposed to contact you and keep you updated as the process goes on.
Okay.
So I would encourage that because they're getting it from multiple angles. But if you actually go on to First Energy or Jersey Central, you can report a street light out, you can put your email in there, and they will, supposed to be notifying you as the process goes on.
First Energy, Jersey Central.
It's either one or the other, but,
Oh.
or both. It's Jersey Central, but it's on.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we'll do another light survey.
Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will move to the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. We have the limited brewery off-premises event application. This is for our Small Business Saturday and holiday lighting on November 30th. This is submitted by Bakes Brewery, who will be supplying the brewery, I guess tent, the brewery area this year. Amy, is everything in order?
It is, yes.
There is no issue with insurance?
I did not receive an insurance certificate from them, but I will prior to the event.
So if we approve this, we have to approve this with the caveat that we're waiting on their insurance? Any questions from the council?
And you're relicensing the whole,
Parking
yeah,
lot license.
and are they doing cans?
You're doing cups, plastic cups.
Okay.
They'll have 3 kegs of different options, and you will be serving them in 12-ounce cups.
This is the second year we're doing this, just for the record, and I thought last year went very well.
It was a different brewery last year with
Yep.
cans, so I just was curious, yeah, and I did too.
Yeah, I thought it went very well.
Yeah.
I thought they had
Yeah,
they had tap.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I was thinking they
remember they were
did.
supposed to be in the truck, and the truck broke
Yeah.
down, and they just had to use the regular caps.
Yeah, it's coming back now. You're right.
Make a motion to approve it, under the condition of the insurance.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Ready,
Yes.
Sculp,
yes.
Antoine,
Yes.
Ventries,
Yes.
Malala.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all we have. At this time, we will be going into closed session. As per the resolution, we will be using this area for our closed session, so we will ask you to leave.